So just a matter of time then before you get Zaki over the line?
Well, it's hard for me to say no now. He's been at the airport and he's had the scarf round the head and stuff like that, so it's hard for me to kind of delay that anymore. It's not confirmed yet, but it's a player we like. It's a player that we've been tracking for a while, so yeah, we'll hopefully try and get it done as soon as possible.
How long ago were you aware of the player?
Pretty much right away. As soon as we came in, it was a player we identified. Of course, he's overseas player. He's been playing in Australia. It's a league that there's a lot of familiar faces and coaches there that we know, and there's a lot of people we can go to for character references as well. And you know, he fits into the kind of model and the strategy we're trying to do. You know, we don't want to flood the place with recruitment, especially from overseas and things like that, but he fits into the profile of player we want, but also the type of character he is and his attitude and the fact he wanted to come here. He's desperate to come here. I've done numerous calls with him online and Zoom calls and WhatsApp calls, and you know, we've been putting a lot of work into it, but his attitude and his determination to get here is number one. And you know, like I said, with any of the players that we signed, he wanted to be here, which means a lot. I think he'll fit into what we're doing. He's like I said, outside we'd rather bring in a player, you know, 7, 8 out of 10 maybe, that's going to fit into the group that we've got here. We're trying to create a real competitive, enjoyable culture and working environment in here, and Rico will come in and do that. You know, we'd rather bring that in than someone at a really, really top level that's going to be a problem. So that's just as important to us. You know, he ticks those boxes. Yeah, we want him to come in and do well, which I'm sure he will, and you know, give him a platform to play in. I think the fans will enjoy seeing him when the time comes.
Where do you see him fitting in your team?
Well, I was talking to him yesterday, and obviously I've got my own ideas. It was interesting to speak to him and see what he thinks. I think we're on the same page, but his attitude and his instant response was he would play anywhere. He says, I'm comfortable playing anywhere, wherever you want me to play, you know. So that kind of just, you know, backs up what I was saying there in terms of the attitude and, you know, the willingness. And I think it's also a cultural thing. You know, he's super professional and, you know, well mannered, and you know, when you meet him, it's a good experience. So yeah, but we're happy with him. We need to be patient with it, and we need to hopefully get it done as soon as possible.
Well, once signed, he's pretty much ready to perform.
Yeah, he's been training, he's been playing, you know, he's been involved. So yeah, as soon as the paperwork and the clearance and all these things get done, then you know, we'd be happy to have him involved for sure.
Is it unlikely that he'll be involved tomorrow?
We don't know yet. As I said, he's been here. It's just a matter of the paperwork and the registrations and the clearance and these things for Japan and the SFA, and hopefully will be. But again, we're not sure.
You've managed to get a few deals over the line the last couple of weeks. Are you expecting any more? Or are you a lot happier now of where your squad is?
Yeah, but we're happier. I said I've been kind of highlighting it pretty much every week that we needed that competitive nature, not just on a match day, but in training. You know, competing with each other, creating a real competitive environment. You know, I think we've seen that slightly last week as well. You know, the boys come in, done really well, performed well, and it's about when you get in, take your chance and really, you know, showcase what you've got on a match day, because that's ultimately where you get judged.
You've been saying over the last few weeks it's been frustrating not being able to get that win, and just you think that might kick-start things. Last week it was a good win, the cup, a good clean sheet. Do you think this can be the start of being able to kick on now? Yeah,
it needs to be. It was a tough game, you know, even when the fixture, when it was drawn, you know, you're looking at it thinking that's going to be a tough game, it's going to be a test of character, it's going to be a game we need to stand up and be ready for it, and I think we've done that as much as we could. It was good to see the new boys coming in and taking to it. You know, it's a tough venue, it's a tough game, and they came in and it was a positive performance.
Sorry, you feel positive now, you've maybe got a few selection choices to make, a few options. Is that helping the kind of environment as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I keep saying, it needs to be competitive. You need to understand there's consequence to maybe not being at your best. I need to, like I said before, if the better I am, the better you need to be to keep up with me. If I'm outperforming you, then I'm going to play. You know, I think earlier in the season, yeah, we were doing well, but also, you know, the team, there wasn't that competitive, especially in certain positions. You know, we were light in certain areas. We've now got that, and we need to then now progress and really take that out and show that on a match day.
It's all helped. Maybe Kevin Van Reen was going through illness a couple of weeks ago. Does it help?
Yeah.
And maybe get a break last week as well to come back in fresher as well?
Yeah, but I tried to explain that to Kevin. He obviously wants to play every single game, and we've been heavily reliant on him this year. You know, even even the Rangers game, I think away, he was struggling. He was really struggling, but even at that, starting on the bench, we needed him to come on in the game. But you know, it's good to have that player that can come in and join and compete with him. Like I think most teams have had. It's a position that we've shot, and then it's like we said, we've been heavily reliant on him. So it's good, and it's also good Mika's come in and scored a couple of goals and again fitted into the group really, really well.
So you tried to explain that to him. Was he not that happy being benched?
No, he wants to play every week, of course. He's still come on and done really well for us. Like I said before the game, he's a big player for us, and bringing Mika in is to help him and, you know, kind of take a little bit of the weight off him and maybe use him in different ways as well. So no, it's been good. It's like I said, it's been good. It's been competitive, and the fact that Mika's come in and fitted into the group well, scored a couple of nice goals, potentially could have scored another one. So it's been a positive start for him also.
Talk about bringing players in, you're happy, the competitiveness is up in the squad. How much confidence does that give you in your squad and your players that they can deliver a positive season, you can stay up, have more than that in the league, and also have a good run in the Scottish Cup?
Yeah, that's the aim. That's been the aim since the start. We want to do well in the cups. Obviously, we went out to Celtic, which is a very tough tie. You know, top team. We're still confident of having a successful league campaign. I understand the games are coming thick and fast, and it's important we pick up as many points as we can as soon as possible. It's I think a couple of additions is going to help us do that. Again, it's not going to be easy every week. I'm going to say the same thing. It's going to be a difficult game. This week's no different, but it's important we take that togetherness and that competitiveness that we're speaking about and showcase that in the match day.
Yeah, just finally on St Mirren, what are you expecting tomorrow at the Paisley?
Again, it'll be a tough game. It'll be a team that's well organised. It'll be well drilled. It'll be super competitive. Again, we need to be aware of what they're doing and what they bring, which we are. But again, we need to bring the best version of us to that. You know, and everything that we're speaking out before. We need to see that. It's okay talking about it, but we need to go out and put it into action.
6 months since you went to Paisley, your first game in charge. Does it seem like 6 months?
Sometimes it seems longer, sometimes it seems shorter. You know, it's there's never a dull moment. But no, it's been a lively 6 months. It's learned a lot. It was a good start to it. It was a good start. Again, tough game. We'll be expecting some of the same. It's important. Like I say every week. It's going to be a tough venue. It's a tough environment. We usually travel well there as well. Similar to the game last week, the fans that came and supported us gave us a massive boost, and we're hoping for the same again. And hopefully we can give them something to go home happy about again.
Just the squads, have you got any injury concerns for tomorrow?
As usual, there's a couple we're waiting on in terms of the longer ones. I don't imagine any of them being back soon. There's a couple of niggles within the group that we're assessing today, and we'll find out. But nothing other than that really to report.
How far away is Bevis from coming back?
He's out running, I'm sure. He's still a couple of weeks, I think. I don't think we'll be seeing him in the very near future, but he's getting closer. You ask him, he's super excited. You know, he's really keen to get back. He's a nightmare when he's injured in terms of he's so enthusiastic for his football. He wants to enjoy his football, which he does. He's another player that would be happy to see back for sure, sooner rather than later. But obviously we need to do it safely. But I think it might still be another 2 or 3 weeks.